In this video, we are going to talk about washing, drying, and steaming. I'm Valeria and welcome to Crochet Basics. This series is dedicated to crochet your clothing. We have talked already how to choose best crochet hook, how to choose best yarn for your project so it comes out exactly how you envision it, how to match crochet hook with your yarn for the right tension for your project so it again comes out exactly how you envision it and doesn't change the shape. We also talked about how to hold your crochet hook, some tricks on changing the tension and maintaining the same shape and the same size of your stitches while you're crocheting. And this video is dedicated to washing, drying and steaming. This part is very crucial for the whole project, for the final stage of it and for its durability and not to change its shape. Remember that right now we are washing our sample, and the way you're going to wash the sample, it is the same way you are going to wash your final garment. Let's first talk about the detergent. What kind of detergent you will choose? I will suggest you to go with your favorite one for hand washing or for washing in your washing machine. Make sure that the one you're choosing to wash in your washing machine is made to wash in the washing machine, but you can choose this one for washing by your hand as well. It can be a special detergent for silk, special detergent for baby clothes or for lingerie. Choose the one which you like and you feel good using it. There are two ways. You can wash by washing machine or you can wash by hand. First, let's look at the washing machine. This option is perfect if your washing machine has an option to wash lingerie or baby clothes or silks. Usually this option has minimum temperature of water or cold water, and it has very small number of, I don't know how to say that thing. Unfortunately, if your washing machine doesn't have any of these two options, which you can regulate, I suggest you not using it and you're washing everything by hand. As your sample is very small, I suggest you putting it in a special bag. These bags are designed to wash lingerie, small pieces of clothing which you need to take care of. Put your sample in this zippered bag and then put it in the washing machine. If you don't have it and you need to wash it like right now, maybe you have some kind of cotton bag, drawstring bag, you can put your sample there, also wash it there. The idea is that a tiny small sample is not freely moving around the washing machine because it can spoil your machine in the end. The next option is washing by hand. I take a recipient. It can be a small bowl or something, whatever it is more comfortable for you. I put water, it might be cold or it might be lukewarm, and put a little bit of detergent there. Dissolve detergent and then put your sample and move it a little bit there. Then wash it off in the clean water, and then we will go to drying. Remember, if you choose to wash by hand, it is best that you continue washing your final garment only by hand without using washing machine. If you choose to wash your sample by washing machine, I suggest you strongly to continue washing your final garment in washing machine. This will maintain the structure of your garment, and this also will maintain the shape and that it will not get stretched or shrinked in any kind of manner. So the next step is drying. I suggest you take a light colored fabric, maybe white, even if you have something very light, and put your samples there. Lightly stretch your sample, just leave it there. Why we are choosing light fabric? Some kind of yarns and colors can bleed, and a light fabric will show you if there are any marks on the fabric under your sample. This will show you if you should use lining with the same color, so it will not go, let's say, in black yarn, leave marks on your skin or on your undergarments. So to prevent that and to have any idea, this is why we are putting light fabric under the sample. Also, if you are choosing to crochet your garment with two different yarns, it is also will give you the idea if one yarn, one color which is darker, will bleed into the lighter color. It will give you faster the idea, and you can take steps to choose better yarn. The next step is steaming your sample. This step is very similar how you will be steaming your final garment. Don't worry, it's not all the time you need to make the same steps into steaming like a crazy one. But look at the next. Usually, if it is the crochet garment is longer, maybe it is a dress, maybe it is a skirt, maybe it is a blouse which has a lot going on, and it's kind of something is pulling down on your garment, sleeves here, or the body of your garment is longer and it is heavier and it pulls down. So what we want is, we want to account for that by stretching very nicely your sample while you are steaming it. I usually use iron. I use the temperature for silk, and if I'm steaming linen or cotton, I use temperature for linen or cotton. And if it is the mixture of both, I put something in the middle there. This is the very important step, because if you missed my video about how to choose the best yarn for your clothing, go and watch it, because if you're choosing any yarn which is from not natural origin or it is viscose, this is another story. This step you can burn, or it will not show exactly well the number of stitches which you will need to calculate, taking into consideration your measurements for the perfect fit for your body for the final crochet garment. So here what we do. If your sample has some kind of, let's call it, crazy effect, you also want to pull on those a little bit so they are better stretched and show, and you can see the beauty of the stitches you've just crocheted. If you have a sample which is square, you want to stretch it in the manner as you are stretching a square. So you're pulling by the sides, so you're maintaining the shape of square, you are giving it the perfect shape of square, and you are seeing how the stitches are stretched by the side. So now let's move to the final garment. While you are crocheting it, if it is a small piece, let's say it's a mini skirt. Mini skirt doesn't have enough weight to stretch the skirt. It's not anything that pulls it really down, so it is light. Usually it is light. And what I do is I finish the skirt, and before I make waistband, I will wash it and I will put it in the hanging mode. I do not use this kind of clips, to hang. Now, what you're trying to use here, you can put the thread in the holes of your crocheting, or you can, if you have a long needle, it can also work. You can put it in the holes of the crocheting and you hang it so it is vertically stretching itself as much as it can. Also, you can put under it some kind of recipient that the water is not on the floor, or maybe you can even hang it on top of your bathtub. If the garment is bigger, if it is a dress, if it is a very long skirt, or if it is very heavy skirt, you want to make it to crochet the piece, the main piece of your skirt or of your dress, and wash it before you continue crocheting. For example, with this skirt, I made it to the certain level where I thought this is the length I wanted, and then I stopped and I washed it and I hang it to dry, and then I remeasured to see if my previous calculations with the sample were correct, or if the yarn stretched even further. If the yarn stretched and I don't like that, I have the option to remove some rows, and it will not take me too long to undo it, or it's not so painful, when you've done something and you need to undo it, And for example, for this skirt, I've crocheted first 2 parts of the top and 1 part which is finishing the skirt, and I washed them separately and I hang them separately. Then I measured if something stretched further or not, and only then I connected them. This gives me power of understanding if the yarn was stretched further or not, if it is even shrinked more than I accounted for washing, drying and steaming my samples, and I can understand if I need to add more rows or it is just perfect as that and all my calculations were correct. Now, if you're not making calculations for yourself and you are following a pattern, how can you account for that? In the pattern, you are knitting it from top to down. Just stop in the middle and wash that. Maybe crochet a little bit more and wash that. And understand if something is changing. Remember to dry it vertically, hanging it, and put something under so the water is not dropping down. And another part, if you are crocheting using rounds or squares or something, so make some piece. The idea is to make a piece big enough so it can stretch itself and you can understand if it's going to stretch further or you are good to stop where you are. You're measuring it according to how long you want it to be. These are the whole ideas behind how you wash, dry and steam your crochet clothing. You need to start from doing that with your samples and then understanding if the count of the stitches of the sample is what you want, and then you wash your final garment the same way you washed your sample. You dry it vertically so it brings itself into stretching mode and you can count for that, and then you also finally steam it to make some kind of arrangement so things will look nicely stretched, perfectly shaped, and look exactly how you want it to be. I usually don't always do the same steaming each time I wash my crochet clothing. It will depend on the yarn, it will depend on the whole shape, or if it is a dress, if it is a skirt, if it is a top. Sometimes you see needs to be stretched and pulled, and sometimes you see that just passing your iron a little bit with steam looks perfectly well, and sometimes you don't even need that. For example, for this skirt, I have steamed it first time when I finished it completely, and then I never steamed it again. I just washed it, dried it vertical, and then I put it on, and it was perfect all the time. So it is in your eye to observe and see how you like it, and this is how you go with that. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, you can ask them down below, and see you in my next video. Bye!